in southeastern Mediterranean Sea. This is the entry point where the maritime Silk Road meets the land route. This is Valentini and I'm Maria. Today we are in front of the COSCO Netherlands container ship which docked here last night. We are at the premises of the Piraeus container terminal, a COSCO subsidiary which took over the operations of the port in 2010. The Hong Kong flanked ship started in mid-May a 40-day journey to Europe from Shanghai. The ship transports electronic appliances, bicycles and other products which are assembled or made in China. It has a 29-member crew, and in a few minutes it will leave Piraeus port, it will depart Piraeus, and its final destination for this trip is Netherlands. The vessel set sail to revive the ancient maritime Silk Road that for centuries connected China to the world. This time on board the vessel was our Xinhua colleague, Mr. Yan, and we will have a chance later today to talk to him and hear from him his experience on the journey. We will also have the opportunity to talk to the vessel's captain, the Captain Wu, and he will share with us his experience of traveling in the 21st century maritime Silk Road. The ancient maritime Silk Road was a crucial route for trade and cultural exchanges between China, Africa and Europe for several centuries. Today, the Belt and Road Initiative, consisting of the Silk Road Economic Belt and the 21st Century Maritime Silk Road, proposed by the Chinese presidency, aims to build an even stronger trade and infrastructure network connecting Asia and Europe and Africa along the ancient trade routes and promote common development among all countries involved. Piraeus holds a leading role in this bid, and China's COSCO Shipping's investment in Greece's largest port is helping in recent years to transform dramatically the image of the port into an even more important transport hub at the crossroads of three continents. In a few minutes we will have the opportunity to also hear from Piraeus container terminal top managers as well as Captain Fu, the previous CEO of PCT, who since last summer has taken over the helm at Piraeus Port Authority. Piraeus Port Authority, a majority stake at Piraeus Port Authority was acquired by China's shipping COSCO company last year as part of Greece's bailout program, as part of Greece's privatization program. They will all give us their views on the significance of Piraeus port in the modern maritime Silk Road, the international trade along the ancient routes, the achievements of Sino-Greek collaboration in recent years, and of course their plans for the future. And now it's over to Valentini.
Thank you, Maria. But before we hear from Jan and the captains, we are here to give you some more information on the vessel which will host us later today, the container terminal and Piraeus port in general. One of today's most technically advanced ships in the world, COSCO Netherlands, is an over 150,000 tons ocean-going container vessel. She is 366 meters long, 51.2 meters wide, and 67 meters high, and can carry up to 13,386 TEUs, that is 20 foot equivalent units. It was manufactured by China Tong COSCO KHI Ship Engineering Limited in 2013. As we mentioned before, the container has a 29-member crew. The captain, Mr. Gu, is an experienced seafarer who will share with us his experience of traveling with COSCO Netherlands. China COSCO Shipping Corporation Limited, owner of MV COSCO Netherlands, owns the world's fourth largest container shipping fleet and offers service on more than 100 routes globally, including those from the Far East to Northwestern Europe, the Mediterranean, the Middle East and Africa, as well as regional feeders within Europe and Southeast Asia nations. COSCO's investment in the Piraeus container terminal coincided with the outbreak of the Greek debt crisis, which brought the ailing economy at the brink of meltdown. And China's commitment to the Piraeus project has been praised as a valuable aid to Greece's struggle to exit the crisis. However, Piraeus port, where we stand right now, has been praised by all sides as an exemplary success story of win-win cooperation. Let's see why. In 2010, when COSCO subsidiary took over from the Greeks the management of Piers 2 and 3 at Piraeus Container Terminal, roughly 900,000 containers passed through the terminal. In 2015, the number had reached 3.3 million containers, and in 2016, 3.74 million. Piraeus has shot up world rankings of container ports to 38th in 2016 from 93rd in 2010. As Piraeus Container Terminal Management has told the Xinhua, COSCO Shipping wants to boost the port's container traffic to 5 million by 2018 under its plan to turn Greece into a transshipment hub for rapidly growing trade between Asia and Eastern Europe. At the same time, container business accounted for more than half of Piraeus' total turnover of around 100 million euros last year. The piers are now being upgraded, and important infrastructure works have connected the terminal to the Greek railway network, as the future plans of Greeks and Chinese aim to transform the wider area in a major logistics center. Taking cue from the PCT's impressive growth, COSCO Shipping recently moved on to further establish its presence in Piraeus. Since last year, the corporation bought 51% of the port's operating company for 368.5 million euros in one of Greece's biggest and most strategic privatizations since the debt crisis began in 2009. The data released in the authority's annual financial report for 2016 is indeed impressive. According to the latest statistics, there is already a 13% increase in profit before tax in 2016 for the PPA. Let us also share a few information of the city where this port stands, the city of Piraeus. Piraeus, which roughly means the place over the passage, is located within the Athens urban area and has been inhabited since the 26th century before Christ. The city was largely developed in the early 5th century when it was selected to serve as the port city of classical Athens and was transformed into a prototype harbor concentrating all the import and transit trade of Athens. It became the chief harbor of ancient Greece, but declined gradually after the 4th century AD, growing once more in the 19th century, especially after Athens' declaration as the capital of Greece. In the modern era, Piraeus is a large city of 450,000 people, bustling with activity and an integral part of Athens, bearing the characteristics of a huge marina and a busy commercial and industrial center. In 1985, Piraeus and Shanghai became sister cities, in a gesture that validated the age-old cultural bonds between the peoples of Greece and China, but maybe also foretold their future thriving cooperation.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, welcome to Piraeus Container Terminal. We are 100% subsidiary of the COSCO Shipping Port. And here we provide the first-class loading and discharge service and the all entire terminal service. Let's say it's a modern and efficient terminal. We are 100% subsidiary of COSCO Shipping, but we are a common user terminal. So we provide service for all their carriers, if they like, sure. If we think about from the beginning of year 2010, we first took over this management of this terminal. Let's say there's a big change. For example, the Pier 3, here we are, is still in sea. We fill up and construct this pier from the sea. So it's a big change. And also you can see from all these 5 cranes is first class. Let's say they can provide the loading and discharge service for the biggest container vessel, even for the next generation of the vessel. He can operate 25 row, and the biggest up to now in the sea is only 23. So you can imagine how big it is. Not only big, also it is very efficiency. This equipment can move together to 40 containers. So anyway, by this equipment investment and plus our cooperate with our local team. Let's say we have only 7 Chinese, but the local team is more than 1,000. So by all the team work together, and we manage to provide the first class service to our customer and win their support. So throughput wise, we had increased more than 5 times compared when we took over. So let's say we are happy to get this success, and I believe also the Greek Consortium is happy. I hope so. We are, let's say, we are part of them. We are proud for that. We will continue, and we hope to do something more for the country. And I believe the country will support us like previous, because this is indeed we need to support each other in order to create something new to let's say get development together with this country and ourselves, COSCO Shipping. Let's say in the future we try to develop this port to the first transshipment port all over the Mediterranean, because we want to come to the number 1. And the second is we try to develop this port as the gateway of the South Europe through the China-Europe Sea Land Express service. And also we are dreaming to be the distributor center near this area. I mean, this area is European, Middle East and Africa. We hope we can develop this port as a modern and efficiency distributor center. I hope so. Thank you.
We are here with Mr. Nikos Arvanitis, a shipping agent and an important customer of an important client of Piraeus Container Terminal. He's here to give us an insight on and his impressions on what has changed in the port since COSCO Shipping took over, and what is his overall customer experience.
Good morning, and thank you very much. I'm involved in this business for over 35 years. So I have a good big picture of the port as client, as shipping agent. What I can say from the time that PCT took over around from 2010 We are deeply impressed, and we are very proud to say that the operation changed dramatically on a better way, much better. We are facing a productivity which is 100% better than the previous time. We have a port which take care of the clients on the best way, and we are facing also a scale of economy because the vessel stayed in the port much less time than previously. So the company is also earning from this excellent operation. We enjoy very much of the new investment here, of the new terminal of Pier 3, a part of the development of the Pier 2, and looking forward for a better days in the future, and we are very, very glad to cooperate with Piraeus Container Terminal. We do appreciate the COSCO Pacific investment in Piraeus, and we're looking forward in the future for more, even more. Thank you.
What were the main problems before, and what are the main advantages now for you as a client?
In the past, we are facing huge delays. A vessel of only 100 moves containers used to stay in the port over 3-5 shifts, and now only a few hours. This is a big thing. Also, we have new infrastructure, new gantry cranes, you may see, which also give us opportunities to work better. No strikes, which is very, very important, and a very client-centric attitude of the Piraeus Container staff.
Will you continue cooperating with Piraeus Container Terminal, and would you suggest also that other colleagues of yours collaborate?
Of course, and as shipping agent representing various shipping lines in abroad, we do advertise the good operation of Piraeus, what is the profit that they may have using Piraeus. So let's say also we do this through our shipping agent association, and we do invite all the companies to use Piraeus as port of call, and why not as main hub.
Are you optimistic about the future of Piraeus?
Yes, we are very optimistic, and taking into consideration the new policy of COSCO investment in the Piraeus port, we are very optimistic, and we strongly believe that the policy of a new Silk Road, One Belt, One Road, will be a very fruitful thing for the Greek development and the Greek economy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Arvanidis.
Thank you very much too. Thank you.
First of all, we regain back the reliability of Piraeus. Everybody knows Piraeus has a reliable and efficient port nowadays. This is what we have achieved. How we have done it? First of all, infrastructure-wise, we have a new terminal. We have two more piers for giga container vessels than what we had before. So Piraeus, when we finish the construction here, will be the only port in the Med that will have four or five berth availabilities to have 5 giga container vessels concurrently. So if you imagine that when COSCO came here, the Piraeus was listed number 93 in the world, and now is number 38, then you may understand the difference. From 960,000 containers, we have reached more than 3,500,000 last year, and our goals are for becoming Piraeus the biggest port in the Med. 2013 it has been completed. This project was on progress for 12 years. So it was only when COSCO came here that things were boosted in order to be completed, this has to be said. And this is a very great, big tool for the materialization of the concept of the management, which is Piraeus to become not only as a huge hub in the Med, not only a very big distribution center in the East Med, but also a very big logistics center. So in order to provide logistic services, you need to have the infrastructure and to have the abilities to move your cargo from here, let's say, to the Central Europe, and under the concept of the One Belt, One Road initiative, this is what we will try to do. And we are trying to convince the market that there is the south gate of Europe, and this is Piraeus, and they have to use it not only for cargoes coming from Asia and China to Europe, but also on the other way around. And Hewlett-Packard.
Years, Piraeus as their logistic transport hub.
Yes.
So how can the logistics help further transform Piraeus?
There is an analysis which says that if we in Greece will be able to get our market share that we deserve geographically wise, if you look on the map, so what we deserve geographically, that means that the income from the logistic services only from cargoes which are going through Piraeus without any services to be given, the duties paid will be more than 1.6 billion euro, which means automatically that if we invest in this scope of business, logistics will become the first industry of the country. Even the income will be higher than the tourism. So this is our goal and this is our targets. Logistics to become #1 industry of Greece.
Thank you. And now you will have the time to see for yourself some footage from the Piraeus container terminal.
Hi, I am a Yan Liang correspondent of Xinhua News Agency, and from April the 15th until today, I am on board of COSCO Netherlands from China to Europe along the 21st Century Maritime Silk Route. And as we all know that the Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation is going to be held in a few days later, and we are very proud to be part of it. Now, first, let's have an introduction of our team. And this is our captain, Mr. Gu Zhengzhong, and he's the captain, and he's in charge of almost everything from the sailing of this giant vessel and to the cargo safety. And this gentleman is our Chief Officer, Mr. Li Hongbin, and is 30 years old, very promising guy, and he graduated from Shanghai Maritime University of China. And this is our commissar, Mr. Zheng Mingjie, and he's a very senior one and a veteran sailor, have 37 years experiences on sailing. And after this trip from China to Europe, he's going to retire. And this gentleman, Mr. Cai Tuanjie, is this handsome guy is going to take his position after Mr. Zheng's retire. And this is our chief engineer, Mr. Cai Jianjun. He and his men takes care of the engine. You see, the COSCO vessel is a giant merchant vessel and has 366 meters long, 51 meters wide, and 67 meters high. You see, we have to power it, and Mr. Cai and his men takes care of the engine to give the power of this giant vessel. And I'm the journalist. I write their stories, and it is an interesting journey, also a very difficult one, very challenging one. From this journey, I know how this vessel sails, and what do they do when they are on duty, and what they usually do when they are free, especially after a long day's work. And as a journalist, I write their stories, and I send it via the marine satellite. Sometimes it is difficult, and that is why the communication is very important. You see, this is our marine satellite. Yeah, this is where I already write their stories. This is my computer. This is my computer, and this is the marine satellite. Yeah, this is the marine satellite. Yeah, and that's the other part. Our satellite. You see how important the communication is, and that is one of the reasons why the Belt and Road Initiative is proposed by China. That is to communicate, to contact. The Belt and Road Initiative is to make the world connected and win-win, from China to Southeast Asia, from China to Africa, and from China to Europe, and to every country that welcomes this initiative and would like to participate in. In Chinese history, there was a maritime Silk Road, and we call it ancient maritime Silk Road. It is a road that witnessed the silk trade and people-to-people exchanges between China and the world. Drawing inspirations from history, the Chinese government proposed the Belt and Road Initiative in 2013, aims to promote a common development, to build a community with a shared destiny, and we are pretty sure that it will be beneficial not only to China and to Europe, but also to the world as a whole in the future. Now let's have an interview with our chief officer. And why would you like to be a sailor, and what makes you proud as a Chinese sailor?
Oh, well, I have been a seafarer for 8 years by now. I have many feelings in, and as you know, most of the Earth's surface is covered by water. And have you ever dreamed of traveling to remote countries? I have, so I have enjoyed my experiences for traveling all around the world by sea. And what makes me proud?
Yeah.
And with the development of our country's ocean shipping career, as a seafarer in a new area and a member of COSCO Shipping Lines, I'm very proud. Just over.
Thank you. Thank you for your service as Chinese sailor along the 21st century maritime Silk Road.
διαβάζω άμα έχει τέτοιο, δηλαδή να του πούμε εδώ να είμαστε εμείς. Όχι, εντάξει.
For those who just joined us, we are on board the COSCO Netherlands container vessel, which docked last night at the premises of Piraeus Container Terminal, China COSCO Shipping Corporation subsidiary, which successfully manages the site since 2010. Let us say a few words about the COSCO shipping project in Greece and the benefits it bears for the two countries, the region and the world trade in general. China and Greece have pinned great hopes on Piraeus port for the economic progress of both countries, bilateral cooperation and the future of world trade in the framework of the Belt and Road Initiative. 7 years since COSCO Shipping's arrival at Piraeus port, the image of Greece's largest port has already changed impressively. The port has since seen an 8-fold increase in commercial traffic, with companies like ZTE and Hewlett-Packard using the cargo terminals as logistics hubs for their market. Greece stands to benefit from China's growing influence in the global market, while the port of Piraeus can play a pivotal role in the development of its economy, as Chinese companies see further huge investment opportunities in Greece, and this is something that is backed by the Chinese government, said Xu Lirong, the president of China COSCO Shipping Corporation Limited, last year while visiting Greece. The company's objective is to transform Piraeus into the Mediterranean's most competitive port. The concession deal signed last year for the sale of Piraeus Port Authority foresees investments of 350 million euros in the next decade for the cruise sector, ship repair yards and other functions. Piraeus is a potentially important entry point for the Chinese investment in goods into Europe. Both Athens and Beijing view the COSCO shipping investment at Piraeus as an opportunity for China and Greece to cooperate in shipbuilding, finance, science and innovation, food, tourism, culture and education. After all, the basic idea behind the revival of the ancient Silk Road is that trade routes brings people closer and strengthens the friendship and collaboration in all fields. To this effect, on May 14th, China will host the high-level Belt and Road Forum for the International Cooperation in Beijing, during which participants, among them Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras, will have an opportunity to explore cooperation opportunities and build cooperation platforms. Thank you for watching. Goodbye from Piraeus Port Container Terminal.
Thank you.